I want to start this lesson with a question. You can pause the video and try to answer it. What's the difference between an insight, a benefit, and a claim? If you found yourself hesitating, don't worry. That's normal. I've asked this question to marketers with 10, 15 years of experience. Most of them go silent for a few seconds. Not because they're bad at their jobs, but because these three words sound very similar, and nobody has ever sat them down and walked through the difference precisely. But that difference matters, because when you confuse insight with benefit or claim with RTB, your concept will sound right on paper and fail to connect with anyone in real life. In the next 8 minutes, I'll help you name each piece correctly, and I promise you, after this lesson, you'll never mix them up again. A winning concept is built from 5 building blocks. Each one has its own job. When all 5 lock together, you have a complete promise, something the consumer understands, believes, and wants. The 5 blocks are insight, the consumer truth; benefit, what the product does for the consumer; reason to believe, the proof; claim, the product statement; demo, the visual proof. I'll walk through each one about a minute per block with 1 weak example and 1 strong example so you can see the contrast clearly. And to keep things grounded, all of my examples will use the same product, Comfort One Rinse, a fabric conditioner that lets you rinse your clothes only once. This is a classic case we'll come back to throughout the course. The first block, and also the most important, insight. This is the block that 95% of marketers get wrong, so I'll spend extra time here. An insight is not a fact about the consumer, not a statistic, not an observation. An insight is a tension, a feeling the consumer carries inside but has never been able to put into words. When you name that feeling correctly, the consumer has a small jolt of recognition and thinks, yes, that's exactly it. How did they know? To make this concrete, compare these two. Weak example: moms want their clothes to be clean and they want to save water. This is an observation. It's true of every mom on the planet. It creates no tension. There's nothing to hook into. Strong example: the actual Comfort One Rinse insight. To give my family's clothes the best care, I have to rinse several times to remove all the detergent, which wastes a lot of water and a lot of effort. See the difference? The second one has a real tension inside it. The mom wants to take good care of her family, but taking good care exhausts her and wastes resources. She's caught between responsibility and exhaustion. That is an insight, a real human tension in a real human voice. A quick self-check formula. A real insight usually has the structure, I know I should, but, so I tell myself. And we'll go much deeper on this in Module 2. Block number 2, benefit. If the insight names the problem, the benefit names the solution. But here's the critical part most teams miss. The benefit must answer the insight directly, not a list of everything the product does, but the specific relief the consumer gets because of this product. A benefit comes in 2 flavors. Functional benefit, what the product does physically. Example, rinses your clothes in just 1 step. Emotional benefit, how it makes the consumer feel. Example, you're still the caring mom without the exhaustion. And here's the secret, the strongest benefits carry both. They tell the consumer that this product solves your problem and makes you feel good about solving it. For Comfort One Rinse, the benefit is rinse, soften, and perfume your clothes in 1 single step while reducing your water bill. Read that right after the insight from a moment ago. The consumer nods and thinks, that is exactly what I need. When the insight and the benefit click together like that, that's the sign your concept is heading the right way. Block 3, reason to believe, or RTB for short. By now, you've named the problem. You've promised the solution. The consumer's next question is automatic. Why should I believe you? The RTB is your answer to that question. I like to think of the RTB as evidence in a courtroom. The benefit is your argument. The RTB is what convinces the jury. Compare these 2 RTBs. Both could be written for comfort. Weak RTB, made with natural ingredients and advanced technology. This RTB could be glued onto literally any product. Shampoo, toothpaste, dish soap. It proves nothing. Strong RTB contains breakthrough foam cutting technology. Just half a cap cuts the foam and prevents detergent residue from sticking to clothes, keeping them soft and fresh in just 1 rinse. You see the difference? The strong RTB is specific. It explains a mechanism. and it directly supports the benefit we just promised. One important note: an RTB doesn't have to be complex science. Sometimes the strongest RTB is a credible certification, an endorsement from a medical association, or a simple demo that shows the product working. What matters is that it answers the question, why should I believe this? Block 4, claim. This is the block most marketers confuse with benefit because at first glance they look similar. Let me clear it up. Benefit points to the consumer. It describes the change in their life. Claim points to the product. It's a specific, provable statement about what the product does. Still abstract? Look at this. Benefit: your clothes feel softer and fresher in just one rinse. This is about how the consumer feels. Claim: contains breakthrough foam cutting technology that eliminates detergent residue in a single rinse cycle. This is about what the product delivers. Both are needed, but they play different roles in the structure of a concept. And here's why claims matter so much that R&D and regulatory teams care about them. Every claim must be substantiated by research, by trials, by certifications. You cannot claim something your R&D team can't back up. That's the legal line marketers must respect. And the final block? Demo. This block is optional. Not every concept needs one. But when it's needed, it can be the most persuasive piece in the whole concept. A demo is a visual representation of the product, the benefit, or the technology. It could be an illustration, an animation, or a before-after comparison. When do you need a demo? When the RTB involves a mechanism that's hard to imagine in words. For example, with comfort, you could create a simple illustration. On the left, a fabric fiber after one rinse with regular detergent, patches of foam still clinging to it. On the right, a fabric fiber after one rinse with comfort, completely clean, smooth fibers. In 3 seconds, the consumer gets something that 5 sentences of writing struggle to convey. The golden rule of demos: a good demo doesn't decorate, it proves. If your demo just makes the concept look prettier, cut it. If it makes the RTB easier to understand and easier to believe, keep it. Now let's lock all 5 blocks together to see a complete Comfort One rinse concept. Insight: to give my family's clothes the best care, I have to rinse several times to remove all the detergent, which wastes a lot of water and effort. Benefit: rinse, soften, and perfume your clothes in one single step while reducing your water bill. RTB: contains breakthrough foam cutting technology. Just half a cap cuts the foam and prevents detergent residue from sticking to clothes. Claim: new Comfort One rinse. Rinse, soften, and perfume your clothes in one single step. Demo: an illustration showing fabric fibers after one rinse. Clean, no residue. This is a winning concept. The insight creates a real tension. The benefit relieves that tension directly. The RTB makes the benefit believable. The claim states it all with precision, and the demo turns the mechanism into a visual you understand in 3 seconds. All 5 blocks are in their right place, doing their right job. Now it's your turn. I want you to pause this video right now, take the product you chose in Module 0, and do something simple. On a piece of paper, write 1 sentence for each block. What's my insight? What's my benefit? What's my RTB? What's my claim? What's my demo if I need one? Don't worry about it being perfect. The point is to see whether you can name each block. If there's any block you can't write, or if you find yourself thinking, this is both my benefit and my claim, that's a signal we'll fix in the upcoming modules. In the next lesson, I'll clear up an even more dangerous confusion: the difference between a concept, a proposition, and an advertisement. This confusion is what causes most teams to write concepts that read like ads, and that's the fastest path to failure in research. See you in the next lesson.